Hello guys, HL here, coming to you with another World of Warships Blitz video. In today's video, I will be talking about battleship positioning on the map Bay of Storms, which is a base capture map. The ship I will be using in this video is going to be one of my favorite tier 7 battleships, which is the German battleship Gneisenau. Now, why have I decided to talk about the map Bay of Storms? Well, personally, I find this map quite unique, as there's only an island in the middle, which is pretty much the only cover you have. This basically means most battles will either be sniping at long range, or you can rush the opponents and top them or stuff like that. This map is also difficult if you overextend by accident, because there's basically no cover for you to get behind, which means once you are spotted and you are too close to the enemy, you are basically done. Many players who play on this map often prefer to use sniping because there isn't much cover and most battleships don't want to get torpedoed by destroyers, so they resort to sniping, which works well for battleships like Colorado, West Virginia, and even ships like Roma and Amagi. However though, as you guys can see, I'm in a Gneisenau, which certainly isn't the best for sniping, as her German dispersion is kind of terrible at long ranges and she only has 6 guns. So, I am going to be showing you guys how you can play the Gneisenau on this map and still get decent points. Also guys, if you want to play together and have a chance to be featured in the videos, please don't forget to join my fleet, which has the name Fleet of HL and the tag is HLG. So, without any further ado, let's hop into the battle. So, the battle begins, Bay of Storms and base capture mode. When the battle starts, I usually check out the enemy. As you can see, the enemy Amagi is in Legend League. While many people mention that leagues do not matter much, as leagues don't necessarily represent skill, as many players who haven't played for a long time just have low trophies but they have good skills. But even though that is a correct statement, I fully agree with that. Players from higher leagues also have a higher chance to be good, so I just be more careful of them. Also guys, if you see that they are from lower leagues, just much as you can think that they might not be so good, please be careful, as they can be pros who are just returning to the game. As you can see, the game has started. I've spawned on the right together with 3 battleships, so I'm turning out and turning back in because I want to be able to bring all my guns to bear and quickly disengage and turn behind the island if anything does not go according to plan. The enemy Amagi appears. I'm waiting for my precise aim, and not my precise aim actually, I'm waiting for my ship to turn to the right angle, which she does now, so I fire my shots at the Amagi. All 6 shots hit for 6000 damage, which while it isn't the best, it certainly still isn't the worst, as sometimes most of your shells bounce. The Amagi is starting to show broadside, so I decide to fire another salvo at the Amagi. Meanwhile, I am disengaging as there are 3 BBs and a cruiser, which is the Chapayev, and she's spamming HE at me, and I certainly don't want to get spammed, as while German armor is thick, they are not good against fires. The Chapayev has somehow run against the Amagi, so they are basically stuck as the Chapayev is not moving, so I decide to fire a full salvo at her and hit 5 shots, which deal decent damage, but sadly no citadels. I'm starting to move towards the other side of the map, as my team doesn't look like it's holding that side of the map very well. Chapayev, still showing full broadside, gives me an opportunity to fire at her, but the shells miss, which is kind of a shame because I think the Chapayev turned away and I would have hit a really good salvo if she didn't. Meanwhile, the enemy West Virginia and Colorado are on this side, so I'm being really careful not to overextend, because while German ships can brawl well, a tanky ship will easily be taken out by 2 ships even if they are softer. Even a Gneisenau should not be dueling 2 Japanese Fusos, and these two are American battleships, so while they are not as tough, I certainly would not roll them. I fire another salvo, I hit the West Virginia, 4 shots hit the West Virginia for full penetrations, but the Gneisenau, her AP is sadly only at 380mm, which means while there are still penetrations, they certainly don't deal as much damage as the other ship I played, the West Virginia. Our Kagero has decided to rush the enemy West Virginia, so I'm starting to push in as the enemy West Virginia is most likely not targeting me and she's starting to lose health. I fire another salvo at the West Virginia and hit a few penetrations and I think a few overpens. I'm hoping at this point that our friendly West Virginia will be pushing together with me, which I'm not really sure she's pushing with me or not because the West Virginia is really slow and hard to gauge. I fire at the enemy VV, hit a citadel and take her down. At this point I'm up to 40k damage and I was looking at the Chapayev because Soviet ships can rush and torp you if they want to and their torps, while certainly not being as long range as the German counterparts, they still hit for a good lot of health. Now I'm starting to push the Colorado as an American battleship will never win a fight in a German battleship in most cases, especially a one-on-one. I'm aiming for turrets because I'm hoping to take them out to reduce her damage output. She sets 2 fires on me, which I decide to damage con because I don't want to be burned. I drop my torps at the Colorado, and I also just wanted to say, guys, always remember to use your German torps. While they might not be as fast or as long range or as high damage as the Japanese torps, they certainly deal a good bit of damage. As you can see, the torps and a few shells have brought me from 40k damage up to 69k, which is certainly impressive. I continue firing at the Colorado. Colorado hits I think a citadel on me, which certainly hurts because as you guys can tell, German armor still takes lots of penetration damage because while it might be tough to citadel, it's not impossible and I'm pretty much selling full broadside. I finally hit the Colorado in the citadel and take her out. At this point of the battle, we are down to a 3v2 situation with our team having 3 battleships and the enemy team having 1 battleship and 1 cruiser. Our points are also in the lead because we have more ships surviving than them. At this point, I was not really looking at the points and I was debating whether to rush the enemy. I have like 2,400 hit points left, which certainly isn't much. Even the German armor will take a few penetrations and die. Our team's Bismarck goes down, which puts us to a 2v2 situation and we are tied with points with the enemy. However though, there's a mistake I made on my part, which was I was so tense at this point of the match that I wasn't looking at the scoreboard and I decided to go for the Amagi. This certainly proved to be a large mistake because as you can see, in order to win, the enemy Amagi just had to take me out, which is going to be quite easy because the Amagi has 10 guns of German caliber or Japanese caliber, which are really big. I finally hit the Amagi. I reached 85k damage and earned a big caliber medal. However though, while I'm firing at the Amagi has certainly noticed me and is going to start targeting me soon. As you can see, the first round of salvos hit, bringing me down to 3.9k health. At this point, I finally realized my mistake, but I'm a little too far gone or I've extended too much to be able to run away, so I'm basically hoping that time runs out. But sadly, Amagi fires another salvo and I get taken out, which sort of means I lose the match. However though, as you guys can see, I have got 89k damage and taken out 2 ships, which is certainly a great accomplishment to me personally, at least in the Gneisenau, because the Gneisenau is kind of disadvantaged in a map like this. The damage I dealt was 68k with the main batteries, 12k with the secondary batteries and 7k with torpedoes, which just goes to show that the Gneisenau is clearly king of brawling at tier 7 at close quarters. So, this pretty much wraps up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys found it useful, please don't forget to like the video, and if you guys want to see some more content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications icon to get notified when I post another videos. With that, I'm HL, and I'll see you guys next time.